Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, babies in their diapers, welcome to the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy.
That's me, Tiberius. Today, we're going to talk about some very awesome stuff. We have a video game about rolling around like a marble, a book about God's promises, and we have a totally awesome guest. Today we have the one, the only, the amazing Haley Maynard. Haley is an actress, producer, and a certified personal trainer.
Hey Tiberius, thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, you're welcome. And today we're going to start off with the video game of the week, and this is going to be a roll.
And now it's time for the video game of the week.
Today's video game is Roll'em. This game is not on Roblox, but it is on a game platform from Epic Games, and it is called Core. Oh, and guess what? Core is free. So I get into the game and select play. You see a map that is floating, and you're on a marble. You race through the winning course and trying to beat everyone to the end of the track. This is kind of like a parkour map because if you fall off the edge, you have to start at the beginning. Oh, and because you're playing with friends, you are in a race. So people are more likely to mess up and have to start over because they're trying to be the fastest. If you are in first place, the game ends and you are rewarded points. I give Roll'em 6 out of 10 stars because it was a lot of fun to be my dad in the race, but after a while, it was just 6 maps, so we kind of just learned the path, and it was not as fun anymore. Maybe they will make new maps to play on.
Oak Ridge Gun Range is a family-oriented shooting range that has been in business for over 30 years. They specialize in basic firearm training and offer numerous services such as consignments, gun trades, gunsmithing, and concealed weapon classes. I even got my training for gun safety at Oak Ridge Gun Range. Great customer service, and firearm safety is what they do best. So find out more at oakridgegunrange.com.
And now it's time for the book of the week, Focus on God's Promises. This book is written by G.W. Tolley. Let me read the back of the book. In fact, Haley, would you like to do the honors?
Yes, I would love to. Thank you. So the back of the book reads, "Are you having issues with mental clarity and listening? Are you fearful? What are God's promises? Did you know words are powerful? The M word, money. Have you lost heart? Are you confused and thinking what is going on? If so, it is time to rise and shine. It is a new day. Walk into the kingdom. We are chosen by God, and the Lord spoke a blessing. It is time to keep advancing and move forward and focus on God's promises."
Nice. Well, this is not an AR book, so you don't get any points for reading it. So as you might know G.W. Tolley, he was on my radio show. He talked about his TV show and was publishing books. Well, this was one of the books that he made and published himself. So, but what is this book about? Well, it kind of reads like Bible verses with text explaining what it covers. In this book, G.W. talks about fear, money, one's willingness to change, and so much more. Each time he talks about... My bad. You changed it, so... Yeah. You do. In this book, G.W. talks about fear, money, one's willingness to change, and so much more. Each time he talks about how he dealt with different emotions and thoughts and how the Bible had a verse to cover that issue. This must be an adult book because it was a little hard to understand all of it, and I needed to ask my dad to help me. It kind of read like the positive memes on Facebook with motivational messages. I give Focus on God's Promises 8 out of 10 stars because it was a little hard for me to read, but I did really like that fear means false evidence appearing real. And, well, I'm not afraid but anything but bugs.
The Tiberius Show would like to thank one of our dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. These guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom Braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering, to trophies and awards. They can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373.
And now it's time for the interview of an interesting person. Today's guest is going to be so much fun. Today we have the one, the only, the amazing Haley Maynard. Haley is a certified personal trainer and during COVID decided to branch out and become an actress and producer.
Yes, that is true. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to tell you about it.
Well, so first off, how are you enjoying being on the show?
I'm loving it. Thanks so much. I love radio.
Okay, so you are a personal trainer. Can you explain to my listeners what that means?
So a certified personal trainer is someone who basically shows other people how to work out and just works with them personally on how to do it safely and correctly and to get the best results out of it.
Sweet. Well, how long have you been doing this?
I have been certified it's been about 4 years now.
Wow.
And I actively trained for about 3 of those 4 years.
Cool. Well, does it take a lot of formal training? I mean, how do you get certified as a personal trainer?
Well, really, there's probably not as much formal training as there should be. So I just got certified through a program that I found online. I did a lot of research to see what was the best program. And it's a lot like a college course. They send you books, they send you, all the information you need to study. Then you log in online, and then you ultimately take the big test that determines whether or not you get to be there. So you don't have to go to, college for it or anything like that. But I hope those requirements will get a little more, I guess we'll say in depth in the future.
Yeah. Well, what is the best part about working as a personal trainer?
The best part is probably having the flexibility with your schedule and also just the freedom of running your own business. Because whenever you are a personal trainer, your clients are the people you're training, and then you're your own boss. So that's a pretty cool way to get started.
That's nice. Well, did you have your own place, or did you have to go to their houses?
So I kind of did both, and that's another perk of being your own boss is you can kind of do whatever works for you. I had some clients who had home gyms, and I would go to their house and train them there. But for the most part, I paid rent to a gym, and all my clients just came there, and it was 24 hours. I could bring in clients whenever I wanted, so it was really cool.
Nice. Well, why don't they just take PE like I do in school?
Well, I really would like to see that happen, honestly. I think you should get that started. I support you completely. We should get PE in the workplace.
What is the hardest part about working as a personal trainer?
I would say the hardest part is just knowing that your client's safety is in your hands. So you got to be able to give the best instruction possible for them. And, you're asking them to pick up this heavy weight. And sometimes you have older people or you have people, with all different problems. So you got to be on top of it every day for their safety and your own.
Mm-hmm. Well, what was the craziest thing that has happened while you were training people?
The craziest thing, I would probably say one day I was doing a group class and one of the gym employees who was helping with the class just broke her ankle in the middle of it, and she was healthy, had nothing. I still to this day don't really
Wow.
know how that happened, and she had to leave and go to the hospital in the middle of the class. And so to try to keep, we all had to keep our composure and keep the class going. So
Oh, wow.
that was a little scary.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So your bio says that you also
Mhm.
changed your job when COVID hit, and you became an actress and a producer. What made you decide to make a change?
So while the actual change seemed to happen pretty quickly, this is a change I had been wanting to make for a while. So I am a Christian. I have a relationship with God, and I was working really hard in personal training and doing well for myself, making, good money, working as my own boss. But there was something just in my heart that just wasn't right. And even though I loved being a personal trainer and I loved being able to help people, and I'm still very passionate about health and fitness, but I felt a need to go back to entertainment, and I didn't fully understand what that meant. I'm actually a communications major, so I went to school for radio, funny enough, and tried it, and that wasn't for me. So it was like, okay, God, I spent several months up until COVID praying, asking
Oh,
God,
wow.
what would you have me do? And I just began to hear more clearly acting. And then whenever COVID hit, it just seemed like the
Just do it.
perfect time to make that jump, because through COVID, everything shut down, the gyms and everything. And so I just, uh, pursued acting and didn't look back. And it's one of the best things I've ever done.
Wow. So now as an actress, what was the most interesting thing that you learned from all the different projects that you have worked on?
That is a tough one. Um, I think every single project you learn something new, but I think the best thing that I've learned is there's no really right or wrong way of doing things sometimes, especially as an actress. And so just being available for every opportunity, you never know when you can learn from somebody, and just being grateful for every opportunity too.
But what is the best part about working in the film industry?
The best part about working in film, probably craft services. So anybody who works in film knows that whenever you film, they have like a table set up, and it's basically they have people in charge of just providing snacks at all times, and it's awesome
Wow.
because they have different every day, and every time you get a minute of a break, which isn't super often, you can go and check out the snack table and see what they put out. So
Cool.
that's a luxury I definitely miss whenever I'm at home and nobody's making my snacks for me.
Well, how'd you get started? Did you just call on people and say, pick me, I can act?
uh, Kind of, honestly. So whenever COVID hit, I decided to move back to Alabama, which is where I went to college. I moved in with a former teammate, and she was very supportive of me making this jump. And really, I was just on Facebook. It's like a lot of other jobs. You just got to make connections, and I joined a bunch of film groups, and finally an opportunity came up where they were filming a feature film like an hour from where I was living at the time. And mind you, this is coming from Nashville, whereas it's huge. There's a lot more entertainment there as opposed to a little tiny town in Alabama. But God was leading me every step of the way. So just a couple weeks after moving, I was working on my first film, and every set I'm on, I meet more people, and it just was.
Wow. Well, what is the one part that you are most proud of?
I would say so far is working with the Kendrick Brothers. They have done films like War Room, Courageous. They had a film that was in theaters recently called Show Me the Father, and they are just exceptional. And not only the films that they make, but also the way that they work and how they take care of their cast and crew. And so I'm so blessed to have worked for them, not only early on, but I will always cherish that time I got to be on that set.
Mhm. Well, what is the hardest part about being an actress?
I think the hardest part is probably that it's the same thing. It's not necessarily a right or wrong approach of doing it. And you just have to be focused every day and just be the most authentic version of yourself and doing the work before you even get there, just making sure you know your lines, your the role that you're playing, that you've done all the background work, so that whenever you actually show up to be on set, you can have fun and it's more like you get to play.
Mhm. Well, what is the one thing that you want my listeners to know about what it is like to be in film industry?
I would like for them to know that it is it's very difficult, and that's not to be discouraging. It's just to let you know that, even me pursuing this isn't necessarily how I planned for myself. It was all very much, paving the way for me, providing the opportunity, and that's what makes it so great. And so I would just say anyone who wants to pursue film or acting or any kind of entertaining, to just have your heart in the right place.
Mhm.
Don't pursue it for fame, or to think you can make a lot of money, different things like that, or status. Is just really know why you're doing it, because
Mhm.
those 12-hour days, they take a toll on you. It's a lot of work, and if you
Mhm.
don't 100% know why you're in it, it'll wear you down pretty quickly.
Oh yeah. If you could think of one thing that would make your job easier, what would it be?
I think it would make my job easier if I could take my dog to work with me every single day.
Aw. Well, what was the first job that you ever had?
The first I ever had was at the South Alabama Recreational Center. So I was wiping down gym equipment and taking out the trash and cleaning locker rooms. It was very glamorous.
Nice. Well, was there anything you learned from that job that helped you be a better actress or producer?
Yeah, definitely. Just all my different jobs and experiences, especially as a former athlete, learning to be diligent with the little things. If you can't be trusted working at a rec center to take the trash out, how can you be trusted to carry this multi-million-dollar project
Wow.
and to portray this role? And so just every job that I had, I wanted to be as grateful as I could be. And I think that, knowing that where I started and where I came from makes me that much more grateful for where I am.
Mhm. Well, who helped motivate or inspire you the most in following your dreams?
Um, I know I've already kind of given this answer, but just knowing why you're in it, because it's really easy to fantasize about, what it can be, but then once you actually get on set and you're seeing how difficult it is and how taxing it can be, just sticking close to God, just entrusting Him with all of it, because what He has planned for me is above and beyond better than what I would have planned for myself.
Mhm. Well, what advice would you give my listeners if they wanted to grow up and work as a personal trainer?
I would say it is a great field. There's certainly a need for it. Get your education. And that doesn't necessarily mean, you know, get a 4-year degree of exercise science. Of course, that helps. But even, you know, for myself, I only did it for about 3 years. And at the same time, I wouldn't trade it for anything. And so,
Mhm.
um, but yeah, being in it for the right reasons, not just for having a free gym membership or thinking like, oh, if I train people, I'll look a certain way, but really doing it to help people.
Mhm.
And that's what it's all about, is serving. So it's an awesome job. I highly recommend it.
Well, what if they want to grow up and be an actress?
I would say the same thing. Just I love it. I it's definitely not for everyone. Again, it's easy to kind of fantasize about different jobs, but I was never hesitant to try things out. If I've had so many different jobs doing so many different things, and you know, different people might disagree with that, but I wouldn't change it for anything. I've learned all along the way. So with acting, if that's what you truly feel in your heart, then pursue it, and just give God and know why you're doing it.
Okay. Well, if you could go back 10 years and tell yourself something, what would it be?
If I could go back 10 years, I would tell myself it's even better than you thought and sooner than you think to.
What was the biggest mistake you ever made, and how did it change you as a person?
Hmm. I've certainly made mistakes in my life, but I try to just learn from everything and not dwell. Um, Honestly, I would say one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made was, I think, I was about 6 years old. And for whatever reason, I thought that I should light the toilet paper in my parents' bathroom on fire. And it freaked out, and I threw it in the trash can, and it like went up in flames. So never, yeah, never do that.
Wow.
That was a big mistake.
So when you're not working, what do you do for fun?
I love to hang out with my dog, Thor, and I love to go hiking, definitely working out, anything like fitness related. I love to travel, which is cool because I also get to travel for work, but I like, you know, camping, hiking, just anything outdoors, really.
Okay. Well, do you play video games? And if you do, what's your favorite one?
I don't, yeah, I don't currently play any video games, but whenever I was a kid, I did play the PlayStation 1, and my favorite game was Spyro. I loved
But
that game.
what about on your phone?
I don't even play games on my phone.
Darn.
I try to not be on my phone as much as possible. I like to move around.
Okay. So, what is your favorite book to read?
I would say my favorite book is the Bible
Oh,
because
smart.
I'm always learning something new from it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, okay. Now, can you tell me that one story? You know, remember, this is a kid's show, but that one story, well, that you're not supposed to tell me about. Come on, you can tell me.
Hmm. I don't know. I think the putting the burning piece of toilet paper in the trash can. I think that was pretty
Yeah,
embarrassing.
I think that
I
was
already
it as
sold
well.
myself out.
Well, is there anything else you think my listeners should know about you?
Um, I'm from Tennessee. I have pretty much been born and raised here my whole life. You know, even though I'm an actress now, I was definitely raised in the South, very country, simple life. And like
Sweet.
I told you before, I also went to school for radio. So I worked as a radio DJ in my hometown for about a year after college.
Wow.
So I've jumped around. I've done a lot of things.
Well, do you have a Facebook for my listeners that want to follow you?
I do, yes. I have a page for my acting, and it's called Haley Maynard Actress.
What was that one question that you think I forgot to ask you?
I think you did it. I think you covered it. You did a great job. I really enjoyed talking with you.
Well, thank you, Haley, for being my special guest. Can you stick around for Math Corners?
Of course. Yeah, I would love to.
See David Smith Law.com.
You can call him at 407-801-2667.
Wait, you are not Chuck.
My dad can help when people get hurt. He loves to help people.
If you are ever injured at work or in a car accident, you should call my friend Chuck.
You can call him at 407-801-2667.
The website again is cwsmithlaw.com.
Offices, Orlando.
Does it actually have that much W's?
Tiberius' favorite subject, it's Math Corners!
Well, now it's time for Math Corners. Thank you so much, Haley, for helping me with Math Corners. Today, we're going to talk about turning a fraction into a decimal.
I can't wait. I love math.
Yes! Finally! Finally! So we have taken a decimal and turned it into a mixed number. But what if we want to go the other way around? So first off, you have any whole numbers before the fraction. Then write that down and put a decimal point. The rest is going to be the fraction, which is always less than 1. Now you take the bottom number and divide it into the top number. So say we have 5 and 1 over 2. First write down the 5 and then put a decimal point. Then you would take the 2 and divide it into the 1. Well, you put the decimal point, and 2 does not go into the 1, so you add a 0, and 2 goes into 10 5 times. So the answer is 0.5. So you add that 5, and then you get 5.5. We can try one more. Let's do 2 and 2 over 5. First, write down the 2 and put the decimal point. Now we take the 5 and divide it into the 2. Well, 5 does not go into 2, so you add a 0, and 5 goes into 20 4 times. So, after the decimal point, we put the number 4. And the answer is 2.4. This is going to be easy.
Too easy.
Yep. So, Haley, do you now know all about how to turn a fraction into a decimal?
I do, yes. Thank you. You refreshed my memory.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Haley, for your help with Math Corners.
Thanks for having me.
And now it's time for the Heart of a Lion. As you know, we talk about the qualities of living by the heart of a lion, which stands for leadership, integrity, obedience, and nobility. This week, we're going to talk about nobility. For me, I think nobility is remembering we are God's special possessions and acting in a noble way, showing courage and honor. The qualities of nobility are goodness, virtue, honor, generosity, and selflessness. I have seen nobility in my friend Cash. Yes, that is his real name, and while he does safety patrol and opens the car doors for all the students going home from school. This means he had to go through some training, and he has to take time after school to help others instead of playing. He always has a smile on his face when he greets the student and helps them to their car. He opens the car door and tells them to have a great day. This is very generous of his time and selfless in helping others. I really enjoy it when he says goodbye and opens my car door. It makes people feel good right before they go home. So Haley, did you see or use nobility at all this week?
I definitely saw nobility. I really just, like you said, I appreciate the little things. So when someone holds open a door for me or just, uses manners, saying please and thank you, I think that goes a long way.
Mm-hmm. Well, of all of the Heart of a Lion virtues, leadership, integrity, obedience, and nobility, which is your favorite?
I'd probably say integrity, but
Why?
they're all super important and go hand in hand.
but we should always try and be lion strong in everything we do. And that's our show, folks. I want to thank the one, the only, the amazing Haley Maynard for being on my show.
Yes, thank you so much, Tiberius. I loved being on your show. It was such a blast, and I can't wait to see what you do in the future.
Well, you're welcome. It has been so much fun talking with you today, and I hope in the future to be able to see some of your work on the big screen.
Yeah, I hope so. We'll have to keep in touch.
Also, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at The Tiberius Show, and please be sure to visit The Tiberius Show on YouTube and subscribe. Also, be sure to listen to us next week on The Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy!